Live. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, and welcome to the Gardener's Workshop Live Shopping Show. Super happy to be here today because today I'm going to be talking about marvelous marigolds, perhaps one of the most misunderstood flowers, why we love them, how we grow them and harvest them, and my favorite varieties. We're going to be doing highlights of all of these flowers that we have just harvested off the farm and what we're planting now. Prize drawing for one lucky live viewer. You have to be here to enter and you have to be here to claim your prize. And remember, at the end of the show, I'll do a little Q&A. The team will grab a couple of the questions. And if you have a question you'd like to ask, just put it in the comments with @Lisa. Put the question and the team will pick those all up and pick a couple and I'll answer them at the end. And friends, you just don't know how much it helps us for you to hit the share button and let your friends know that we're live here and invite them and let them know that you're here. And we appreciate every time that y'all do that. And I just want to remind everybody, you know, as self-employed people, sometimes we forget about holidays. And this is a 3-day weekend. It's Memorial Day, which is such a sacred, precious day. And so I hope everybody has a safe and thoughtful weekend. And I want to remind everybody, y'all, you know that we do a once a year open farm and warehouse. That is a free-for-all. And it's the end of June. It's June 29th, and it's here in Newport News, Virginia. We have farm tours, warehouse shopping, and again this year, because it was so successful last year, Dave Dowling and Ellen Frost, two of our instructors of our online schools, will also be here, and we're having special private student meet and greets. And students, you'll get an email with all that information, but there'll be a little coffee and social time before the open farm for the rest of the public opens. Totally fun. Your details will be emailed. And if you aren't already on our email list, friends, get on the email list. This is the kind of stuff you don't want to miss out on. And just a reminder that here in the app, if you would just double check your email and your phone number on your account, make sure there's no typos in case we need to reach out to you about a shipping issue or a question about your order, which does happen from time to time. And remember, here inside the app only, one of the special features is seed-only orders shipped for free, right? Plus, we have a cap on standard shipping. It's $9.95, and that means no matter how many products you order, and today is a great day to do that. I can't wait to tell you all the deal of the day. You only pay $9.95 shipping. So, also remember, we ship to all 50 of the United States. Now, if you've joined us on social media through Facebook or Instagram, we are so glad you found us and dropped in. But we just want you to know we do have a phone app, and the experience is much, much richer, and there's a lot more functions over there. So you can actually pop out to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop. It's totally free. Download it and pop back in here. You just have more features, like you can build a favorites list. You can watch the replays of previous shows, which are really useful if you go back to last year during like July and August, and you want to see what was blooming then, right? And there's always a great conversation going on amongst the live viewers, and you can only do that inside the app. And you can't see that or be a part of it from social media. Now, every week this happens, we sell out of a certain product, because keep in mind that our phone app and our big website are totally separate entities at this point in time. They don't talk. So sometimes we sell out of products, and occasionally the team will be bringing more stock over. If you go to put something in your shopping cart and it says out of stock, do you want to get on the wait list? Do that, and all that means is that you'll get a little ding notification when they've brought more stock over, if that's available. So don't be afraid to do that. And lastly, friends, we so love it when our students identify themselves by posting the sunflower emoji in the comments. That's like giving us a big old shout out that you're a part of our family, and we love that. So Y'all know I love giving stuff away, right? And we have settled on a $25 store credit again for this week. I mean, why not pick out what you want for free, right? So Susie has brought up the button. You're not buying anything, y'all. Just hit the buy button and that'll put you on the list that we pull from at the end of the show. And you do have to be here to actually claim your prize. Totally love getting that. So you will have that credit waiting in your cart when you go to check out if you're the lucky winner. So friends, y'all know that my new book, the Cut Flower Handbook, is in stock. I would love to sign a copy for you. And I talked about this on social media, and so I'm going to promise to talk about it right now. Friends, I am so loving the state of my farm right now because we have so many stages of flowers coming along. And that's because I succession planned. And that is so much simpler than people make it. It is such a tip to success, and it spreads out the work, and that's what this book really hits home. So the Cut Flower Handbook is 240 pages. They actually gave me 16 extra pages, y'all, when I wrote this book. It's hardback. It is packed full of beautiful images, of which a third of them were taken by my sister, Suzanne. It really nails how a cutting garden works and how succession planting, it actually takes 2 beds through 2 years in every season. So you can really just wrap your head around it. I would love to sign a book for you, and you also get the bonus download when you purchase the book through us. The flowers that didn't make the book, y'all, they gave me 16 extra pages, but it still wasn't enough. There are flowers that I love and grow that aren't in this book. So the Cut Flower Handbook, would love to sign a copy for you. Now, Vegetables Love Flowers. This book, which is also, it's not really about vegetables, y'all. It's about why vegetables love and benefit flowers. And this is about growing a little cutting garden in your vegetable patch. It too has information on succession planting, but the big hit for me from this book is it talks about my style of gardening and farming. It talks about how I don't use pesticides and herbicides. So Vegetables Love Flowers, I would also love to sign a copy of that. And this comes with actually a video book study when you purchase it from us. So Vegetables Love Flowers. And then y'all, do y'all know that this is the 10-year anniversary of my Cool Flower book? Can you believe it? I mean, my publisher even reached out to me and said, hey, do you realize it's been 10 years? 10 years for this little book that changed it for so many of us. This is the little bite-sized, get the concept down on how to grow cool season hardy annuals in your garden, okay? And so would love to sign a book for you. Plus, this book also comes with a video book study when you purchase it from us. So Cool Flowers, and this is what started it all, y'all. And it's written for home gardeners based on 25 years of commercial farming, and you'll just absolutely love it. So let's look at some of the quick and easy ways, particularly if you're just getting started or you want to gift somebody, and that is our Cut Flower seed collections. So this is a collection of 6 individual packs of seeds. These are 6 of our best sellers. It includes additional information, if I can get it open. See, it has additional instructions, and it has a planting grid on the back. This is $22.95. This is a great way to have a little 3x10 cutting garden or to get somebody actually started. Then we also have another cutting garden collection. This is, we actually call it Planet Pink. Everything in there is in the pink family. Pink zinnias, pink cosmos, pink coxcomb, and our very favorite lemon basil. This really got started when I had breast cancer about 14 years ago, I think it is now. And this is just a great way to start that conversation, not to mention it's a beautiful pink cutting garden, right? So the Planet Pink is really sweet for that. And then y'all know that sunflowers are a huge part of our flower farm, and this little sunflower seed collection again has 6 packs of seeds. It has a suggested planting grid on the back, and it's $22.95 for all of these different sunflowers. And if you don't want to cut them, y'all, if you leave them for the birds, the finches and the birds will just love you for the sunflower seed collection. So I promised that I was going to talk about marvelous marigolds, and marigolds were almost as big a part of our farm as sunflowers are, and they're often overlooked. First off, what you need to know is there are cut flower varieties. So funny, I posted pictures just this week of marigolds, and somebody's comment was, how did you grow them so big? It's about the varieties, y'all. And I'm going to run through my favorite varieties here in a moment. But they're super tall. I mean, oftentimes our marigolds are chest high. Their blooms are huge, which you'll see in the images. And they're just nothing like what you see when you, those are bedding plants that are out there that you see for sale in the garden centers, right? And there's lots of colors. My favorite current marigold is a white one. And then there's gold, and there's yellow, and there's light and deep orange, and there's even lime green. There's all kinds of fabulous colors. Now, marigolds really bloom like crazy from summer right up until fall. I remember one year I had so many marigolds, y'all. I gave away little baby marigold bouquets for Halloween. The children adored them. I mean, people were coming back and asking for more. Marigolds really put on the dog from summer right up until frost. And the colors are kind of perfect, right? So we start them all indoors in the small soil blocker, which I'm going to demonstrate for you here in just a moment. And marigolds are branchers, so you can pinch them. They're super strong growers, and you could even root them. You know, they practically root in the vase, right? And they're definitely come and cut again. That means the more you cut them, the more branching that you're going to get. And of course, if you're just growing them in your landscape, then you need to deadhead them. Harvest. I cut them earlier than most people do. I like it when they're just unfurling and the center is still green. They will continue to develop, but that just gives a better show, and they just are so beautiful with that green center. It just kind of highlights them a little bit more. And here is the most misunderstood part of marigolds. People either love them or they hate them. And why do they hate them? Because of the smell. And friends, I'm here to tell you, the fragrance comes from the foliage. And you just have to, there are actually low scent marigolds, which we'll talk about that when I go through the varieties, but marigolds are incredibly long lasting and bright color. Sister, could we have even done supermarket bouquets without them? We use so many marigolds in our supermarket bouquets, and we just stripped the foliage off so the fragrance wasn't there. They are so valuable for that. They're just super long lasting. So you just strip the leaves off if you're not growing the low fragrance one. And so let's just look at some of the ones. And so y'all may or may not know that orange is my favorite color. And this one is called Sochi, and it is voluptuous. Totally love that one. And yes, I grow all of these. We have so many marigolds out in my garden right now. This is the giant mix. So this has the light yellow, gold, and the orange. So if you're just getting introduced, this might be a good one to really get going with. Then this family is our Cocos. Cocos is a fairly new hybrid, and it has the biggest, I mean, the pictures you just can't do. I can't wait for you to see them later this summer. The blooms are huge. And it comes in, that's gold. That's yellow. And again, I grow them all, y'all. And then there's orange. So they're all valuable. And depending on, I mean, if you're going to farmer's market, maybe you just grow the mix. But if you're selling to florists or commercially to supermarkets, you might want to grow the straight colors. It just makes it easier. And here, my friends, I'm getting ready to show you my most favorite marigold ever. This is called White Swan. And why do I love it? It's buttercream and it's low scent to almost no scent. So we don't have to strip the foliage off. This is, if I was in high production now, I'd be succession planting this every 3 to 4 weeks from the beginning to the very end. You can use it in anything. See how the center's green? Totally love it. Then this one. Can y'all say that name? No Scento. Do you know why it's called that? This is a no scent marigold. That's why it's named No Scento. I will tell you They are not a strong germination, but it's worth just planting them and getting as many as you can. That one is super nice. So I want to sow some marigolds because people are very surprised that I sow them in the small blocker. And Susie Q is going to take the camera down here, and I'm going to make some soil blocks. It's right there. And whoop, stand by, folks.
You ought to know you're going on a little trip, did you?
Don't anybody get dizzy.
All right.
So I am going to, this is the 3/4 inch blocker. Is that not in the way?
Nope.
This is the 3/4 inch blocker. This is our ready-made blocking mix that I've already moistened. You know, it's pretty wet. And the way that I soil block is 2 hands on the stationary bar, and I push it down in the soil a couple of times to make sure the chamber is really full. I use a potato masher, y'all, for mixing my soil with the water, which really works well. It's very similar to mixing concrete. This is our mini tray, which is really perfect if you don't need very many, which, you know, I obviously, as a flower farmer, would start more than this. And there you go. I plunk out 20 blocks. So this block is 3/4 of an inch. So they're going to take the tray away. Yes, thank you. And so there's my blocks, and I'm going to take, I've chosen marigolds that are actually coated, and they're coated with a clay to make it easier for the seed counters to count them, but it would be really easier for you to actually see how I push them in. So I'm just put them in my hand, unlike tiny seeds that I actually use the seed pan, and I'm just picking up a marigold and just simply pushing it right into the block, and you can see the tail is still sticking out. That's why I wanted pelleted or coated ones, so you could actually see that. Marigolds prefer to have their seeds covered with soil for best germination, and pushing it down into the soil, even with the tail sticking out, makes it so much, it does the job, is what I want to say. And this is how I plant marigolds, this is how I plant zinnias, and this is how I plant cosmos.
Turn it up so they can see you sticking it in.
So I'm just, whoops, literally just pushing it in, and the tail is still sticking out. And that's it, y'all. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to put soil on top of it. You don't need to put, I see people sprinkling all kinds of stuff on top of soil blocks, and we just don't do any of that, because you want to know what the bottom line is? Let me just do the last row so it'll be done. Is when you become a busy flower farmer, you don't have time to do all those extra steps. That's the difference in your bottom line, is streamlining all the steps that you do and eliminating unnecessary steps, right? 2 more and we're done. And that is how I sow marigolds. All right, so now let's take a look at this blocking mix, which this was the ready-made. And I'm going to show you how you can also make your own blocking mix at home. So this is our sifter, and this is actually our ready-made mix. And I'm just going to show you why every mix that I have ever used in 26 to 27 years, 28 years actually, for soil blocking, there is no perfect mix, right? So I'm going to put gloves on and do this. So the sifter actually fits perfectly right on top of a 5-gallon bucket. That is what makes this an incredibly easy, quick, and fast job. So I've dumped some ready-made mix in here, and I'm just gonna squish it around, and I'm pushing it through the sieve, and y'all aren't gonna believe. And so there was a little bit of stuff in here. First off, what you get when you sift is this beautiful, chunk-free little seeds. Whether you're soil blocking or not, little seeds don't want to compete with this. You can take that away. And so it fits on that block look at all these chunks, y'all. Look at all these bits and pieces of stuff. And that's just part of using living soil. When you use soil that's alive, meaning it's got compost in it, that means it's alive and growing. And so sifting it makes all the difference in the world. And then when we get to talking about DIY soil, this is really pretty amazing. So this sifter is $24.95, fits on your 5-gallon bucket, and is the best thing since sliced bread, if you ask me. So love the sifter. Now, the customer favorite that we have always, this is what really started our business, right? 25 years ago. So we have the Soil Block Maker Kit. And so this includes the small blocker. It comes with a set of our large trays, which actually 3 sets of 20 blocks will fit on this tray, right? This is like 5 inches by 12 inches, y'all. That's 60 plants in that little space. It also comes with the toothpick dispenser and a seed pan. It also includes 3 packs of your choice, either cool season hardy annual seeds or 3 packs of warm season tender annuals. And the kit also includes the actual seed starting made easy. And this is my course that's about 116 minutes long. It covers soil blocking from beginning to end, direct seeding using the Swift blocker, as well as sowing sunflowers in plug trays. So it is your complete seed starting course. It also includes a bag of our ready-made blocking mix. This bag will make approximately 500 of those small blocks. It's so much denser, y'all, than what you really think. So you get all of this, a little higher. You get the blocker, the trays, the toothpicks, the course, the seeds, and the soil, all for $89.95. And that gets you starting soil blocking, right? I mean, it just really gets you up and running. So now I was mentioning earlier the DIY kit. The DIY kit also comes with the small blocker. And by the way, the small blocker is the one that I use 95% of the time. I mean, we do small seeds, celosias, basils, all that stuff in this small blocker. But this kit has the nutrient that you add your peat moss or cocoa fiber and compost to this powder. And that's all the nutrients that your plants need. It also includes the seed pan, which we use because it doesn't have any static electricity. You get all 3 of these for $49.95, and we recommend sifting that peat moss, cocoa fiber, and compost. So that is the DIY soil blocking kit. Now, let's talk about trays. It's really important to use the right size tray to make the most out of your seedling heat mat space and your grow light space. So I use a bunch of different sizes. This is the mini, which holds just 20. This is what we start our tomatoes and our peppers that we're, for our vegetable garden. We don't need hundreds, right? So this is the mini tray. It's $1.95 for 5 or $6.95 for a 25 pack. Now these are foam reusable trays, y'all. We don't intend for these to be disposable. We use them over and over for years. Now this is what we call the small tray. This holds 2 sets of 20, or it'll hold 2 sets of the 2-inch blockers to give you 8 plants on this size tray. This is the tray size that comes with our kit. This holds 3 sets of the 20, and this one is $3.95 for 5 or $15.95 for 25. So they're just reusable over and over again. All right, so thank you, Susie, for having this. So this is our label and marker bundle. Most often, friends, when we have sets and kits, you can kind of count on about a 10% discount, and that's what you're getting on this. This includes 10 of the 24-inch, 18-inch markers, 10 of the 12-inch markers, and it includes our garden marker pen that withstands UV rays and moisture. Friends, you think you're going to remember, but I'm here to tell you, never does it happen. And this is how great that marker is. This marker was from fall a year ago. So this is a 1.5 years old, outside in the weather, royal mix. It marks some of our sweet peas. So the marker really, really works, and we love it and have used it for years. The whole bundle is $22.32, and it'll just have you keeping up with what you're planting and not having to guess later. All right, so another part of starting seeds are fungus gnats, right? You may have experienced them, the little natty things flying around. This is what we put in our watering can once a week on Wednesday. This is a BT that when you water with it, it kills any developing larva that lives in the soil, which is where they're born and grow up in. So you put this in your watering can. Then these stickers, these actually hanging cards, trap the adults that are flying around the room. Using both of these, we do it as a total preventative. From the day we start starting seeds in January till we stop in November, these are always present in my grow room, and this goes into the watering can. So that's a 20% savings. It's $19.95, but you can also purchase these separately inside the app. So I'm really frequently asked this time of the year, what is it that you're feeding those seedlings that are so beautiful, right? This is the liquid fertilizer that I use in my grow room. It's Neptune seaweed and fish. I follow the house plant watering directions that are right on the bottle. And Mondays on my watering can gets food. Wednesday gets the fungus gnat stuff, and no, you don't want to mix them. You can also use this out in your garden in two ways. One is what I call a soil drench, where you mix it according to directions and just pour it on your soil. Or you can put it in a watering can with a sprinkler head and sprinkle your foliage. That's called a foliar feeding. This is $15.95, and really, really love it. All right, so this is my sister's favorite little watering can. I love it for watering soil blocks because it has a nice, long, gentle pour. I mean, is this not the preciousest little thing you've ever seen? You know what she uses it for? A vase. So she loves putting flowers in this. This is called the Espresso watering can. It's stainless steel, holds about 2 cups of water, and this is the watering can you can just leave sitting out with your houseplants if you're a houseplant person. And then you can also use it for your soil blocks. This is a really sweet little gift to give somebody. All right, so people are also asking, what is it that we put into our beds when we're preparing them? This is the same fertilizer that I use here on the farm. This is a 4-pound bag. It's $14.95, and it takes 3 pounds / 7.5 cups per 100 square feet. So we add this into our soil every time we flip a bed. So that means every crop change. You can incorporate it, or you can put it right on top, but if you have a dog, they will like to eat that. So this is the same fertilizer that I'm using on our farm, and that's really the only thing that we add to our soil that a soil test doesn't tell us to. That's just a general purpose. So friends, guess what the deal of the day is? It is Bio 360, the biodegradable film that we use and I attribute so much of our success to, is 20% off, only while supplies last here in the app. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. It looks like plastic, but it's made out of a vegetable-based product. And it's super easy to pop your finger through, and it is 100% compostable and biodegradable. So we make our beds and put this down on it. When we're making our beds, either in the fall or very early spring, we make the bed with the black side up because that little bit of black just heats up the surface a little bit. But this time of the year, when we're making our beds, we put the light colored side up because that cools the temperature on the surface by about 20%. And that really saves your seedlings. We have a video right here in the app. You can watch it from beginning to end. It shows how I put it down by hand. It shows Bobo planting through it. So you can watch that at any point in time. But it is 20% off today. So you can get a 50-foot piece, 1-pack, for $19.96. These are the sale prices, y'all. $19.96, you're saving $5. You can get a 6-pack of the 50-footers for $95.96. Sorry, I was looking down below. $95.96, and you're saving like 24 bucks. We also now have available 100-foot pieces. And so for a 100-foot piece, it's $31.96, and you can get a 3-pack of the 100-footers for $88.76. Friends, I cannot tell you, this time of the year, applying this to your bed is what holds back all those carpets of little weed seeds sprouting. And this is just an incredible tool. Watch the video and check it out and take advantage of that special.
And you can also use it in a landscape and put mulch on it.
Yes, so you can also, Suzanne, good point. So Suzanne is using it at her home right now. You can also put it under mulch in your landscape. It blocks the light, y'all, from getting to the soil where the weed seeds are. That's the real clincher about that. Now, what am I doing? At least one day a week right now, we are netting everything on our farm. So this is the flower support netting, and it's plastic. We reuse it from year to year. It's a 6-inch square, and we suspend it above the bed so the flowers grow up through it, and when you apply it at the proper time, it grows up through it and you can't even tell it's there, but it keeps your flowers from going down in a downpour of rain or in a windstorm. It's available in a 20-foot piece or a 50-foot piece. If you need larger quantities, we do have big rolls over on our big website, and you can check that out. We use 1.5 by 1.5 inch oak stakes, which are like tomato stakes, to actually support it. And flower support netting, friends, I just cannot even tell you, after you do all that work, to watch your flowers go down, and there is no fixing them back up.
Did you talk about a planting grid?
Oh, and I didn't, so you want to do these? And the other thing that we use that flower support netting is as a planting grid. Bobo lays it out on top of the bed, because almost everything we grow is 6-inch spacing, right? And you can just plant it, then she rolls it right back up immediately. You don't leave it down on the ground, and she waters, and we go on about our business. Now, Susie Q's going to tell you about gloves.
Hey folks, all right, we have our favorite garden gloves. We wear these at the farm all the time. I use them at home to garden, and these are called Nitrile Touch. They're lightweight. They have the nitrile coating on the palm. They're very sticky. You can use them to do small things, mess with seeds. We have cousins that milk cows in these. They're anything that you want, little fine hand movements like quilting with these. These are the best gloves ever. You just put them in the washing machine and hang them to dry, or I wash them while they're still on my hand. They last and last. We have never gone through the tips. With single pair is $7.95. They come size extra small up to large. I have a large hand for a woman, and I wear a medium. They're kind of unisex sizing, so a medium would be a large hand for a woman. Most women take a small or extra small. You can get a 4-pack for $24.95, and that is a super deal. Be sure to keep extra on hand. We've heard stories the dog got it and ran off, or I lost one, it fell behind somewhere, I can't get it. So you always want to keep an extra pack on hand, because you do not want to be without these. They really protect your hand, keep you from getting dirty fingernails. We also have the Nitrile Tough Gloves, and the Tough Gloves are sized the same way. They have a double coat of the nitrile on the palms, so they're for a little heavier duty work like moving concrete or wood. Husband uses these to work in the garden, to cut grass and different things. They are super, super nice to use. These come in size small up to extra large, so if you have a guy with a really big hand, this is going to be the glove for them. Same pricing, $7.95 for 1 pair, or you can get a 4-pack for $24.95. And these make perfect gifts, so Father's Day is coming up. Be sure to get a pair for your favorite dad. All right, so next up we have our gauntlets, and our gauntlets are made of man-made material, very thick padding on the palm, and you would use this to wrestle any critters out in the garden, whether that be roses or any prickly weeds that you've got going on. We've also used these to rescue some birds. Protects you from a bird bite too. And they also are machine washable. Just hang them to dry. They're sized the same way. I wear a medium in these. They go from small to extra large, and they're $37.95, and everybody that has a yard needs to have a pair of these on hand. Next up, we have our shearing pouch. Now this is my shearing pouch, and this is what we use on the farm. These are bonsai shears, and they are very easy to use. They have the spring in the middle, so it's very easy to move it. Some of the bigger clippers we used to use were a little hard on the hand. So this is mine, this is Lisa's, but we'll be sure to send you a brand new pair. So this is what it looks like brand new. And the shear and pouch kit is $55.95. The great thing about the pouch is that it has a clip. So you just clip it right on your pocket. You don't have to wear a belt because it gets very hot in the summer. So mine just slips on my belt, and it's always there when I need it. You can just grab it and clip anything you need to get. So perfect gift, perfect to have around the house, and of course if you're farming, you don't want to be without it. Next up, we have the stem stripper. So the stem stripper is perfect for anything that is difficult to strip. Roses, it takes the thorns right off of roses. You just simply stick your stem in here, you hold your stem and you pull it down, and it gets all those leaves or thorns or anything else off of them. Yeah, Lisa uses it for hydrangeas. It's $19.95, and this is like one of those lifelong tools that you get and you're happy you've got it. So the rose stripper, be sure to get one. And next up, we have our sleeves, our bouquet sleeves. First up, we have the 12-inch. This is what we used to use when we used to sell straight bunches that are a little bit smaller, and they fit in here perfectly. Also great to have the kids decorate these. You can put your farm stamp or farm logo or sticker on here. We used to use a sticker. 10-pack is $5.25, 50-pack is $21.95. We also have it in a 20-inch, and this is what we would use for a larger bouquet. I forgot to get flowers to put in here to show you, but one of our bigger bouquets would fit in here, and then we would rubber band the bottom. Here comes Lisa with a bouquet or a bunch of flowers. So you simply slide it down into the sleeve, and then we did use a rubber band to attach it, and you want to make sure that you get it out of the water. So you rubber band it and make sure there's plenty of room for the water, but it just shows your flowers so beautifully, protects them. When people are going through flowers in a bucket, this makes it so that they don't get tangled up and caught on each other. Again, you can put your label or your stamp here. A 10-pack is $6.25, a 50-pack is $24.95. And then when we used to sell to grocery stores, we had certain grocery stores that required that we use clear sleeves. The clear sleeves, 50-pack is $29.95, and they come with these little holes on the top, which you can either get a stand, or we used to just hook them to the side of one of our metal racks, and it makes it easier to put the bouquet in and pull them off. So this really shows the flowers very nice, but if you're a little more earth conscious, then you may want to go with the craft. Like I said, 50-pack is $29.95. Next up, we have the fresh cut flower food. First, we have the cut flower food. Many people don't know that flower food really works, because when you bring home retail flowers, say for instance from a grocery store, they may be flowers that have come in a box from South America that have been out of water for weeks. So unless they're cut really sharply, a few inches up, they're not going to drink water, so people think they don't work. It does work. It keeps the bacteria down in your water, and garden flowers really drink a lot of water, so you want to be sure that you use this at home if you're cutting your own flowers, or you want to be sure to sell your flowers to supply this for your customer. It'll make your flowers last longer, and they're going to be happier for it. So this is 50 of the quartz, and it's $11.95. 100 of the quartz is $19.95. We also sell a pint pack, and the pint pack, there's 100 for $12.95. So be sure to send these with your flowers or use them at home. Now we have the bulb flower food. Bulb flower food is the flower food you just saw, but it has a special hormone in it that helps bulbs. It keeps the leaves from yellowing and just helps them last longer in a vase. So if you have a mixed bunch of bouquet that has a few bulb flowers in it, like a daffodil or a lily or anything that would come from a bulb, then this hormone is going to help that flower last longer. You can use this on any flower, but we really recommend you use it with a flower that has a bulb in it. So 50-pack quartz is $11.95, 100 quartz is $19.95, and again, it's going to make your customers happy, make you happier at home if you're cutting your own flowers. Reminder, the giveaway, $25 in-app credit. You do have to be present to win, And if you're here and tell us that you're here at the end of the show when we draw your name, then it'll immediately be put into your account and you can use it today to check out. So be sure to hit the buy button now. You're not buying anything, you're just getting on the list to be pulled from the drawing. All right, so Lisa, I think you're up next.
All right, friends. So we're going to do, in case you joined late, I answer a few viewer questions at the end. So if you have a question, just type @Lisa in the comments and put your question, and the team will gather those up. Then pick a couple for me to answer. And you know, y'all, I love answering y'all's questions. All right, so now we're going to look at flowers. And I always mention that the way you should be storing your seeds, you should buy seeds when you meet a flower. That means you purchase your seed when you see the flower and learn about it, and then you file it with your seeds in the season you're supposed to start it. That way you don't miss out, forget, and then never get it. That's what used to happen to me, so I followed this system. We use desiccant packs in our seed storage. This absorbs moisture. Moisture and heat are what take the vitality out of seeds. And so this helps you with the moisture. Store them in a cool, dry place. We save seeds from year to year. And when I mean save seeds, I mean we buy seeds and keep them from year to year because we store them properly. A 2-pack is $2.95. A 10-pack is $19.95. So now let's look at some flowers. Friends, this is dill. I can't tell you how amazing. This smells like summer to me. Super long stems, and we cut it from this stage right up to where it sets seeds. We call this the firework flower. We put it in our bouquets. Totally love it. Then we also, look at these, y'all. I've got a huge garden full of these right now. These are the giant poppy pods, and this is the perfect size for bouquets, fresh bouquets, right? They aren't huge yet. You don't want them to swell up and get huge. You want to be able to use them in a bouquet. So these were all, this was direct sown. I'm showing you direct sown stuff first. So these are the giant poppy pods that were fall planted, and it's the pod that we grow them for. Now, so let's see. No, the Delft Blue is this one. All right, so this week, remember last week I showed you all the Nigellas, and I'm showing them to you again this week, but the pods are more developing. We're losing the blooms, and so let me look here. All right, so this is the Delft Blue. This is what it looks like with the flower. I mean, I am in love with this flower, y'all. Look at the center. This is the most interesting flower, but this is the pod that's starting to develop, which is equally interesting, right? And sometimes they're dark and sometimes they're light. So that is what, if you don't get them all cut, this is going to develop, and that's just as useful. All right, so now we need Miss Jekyll Mix, and this is another one that has lots of pods. So this is, there's several Miss Jekylls in the mix. There's blue and white and rose. This is what their pods look like. You can see a little bit of the flowers still there. This pod is as in demand as the flowers are, right? And these can dry. You don't want to wait too late to harvest them though, because they will burst all over. So look how cool those pods are. And that's the Miss Jekyll Mix. Then we're up to the green marbles. And can you see why they're called green marbles? It's this lime green, gorgeous pod. It has a white bloom, and this is perhaps one of my favorites. It's so useful, right? I don't like dark colors. So this is the green marbles. And again, all of these are direct sown. So next up is Midnight Blue. And this bloom is very similar to the African Bride. Look at the centers of these things. They are just so cool. And there, right on the top, is a pod that's developing. It's just more interest. Look at this one. I mean, they're just really cool. Nigella, again, direct sown, is just a great one. And look at this. This one's easier to see. This is African Bride. And there's a pod, and there's the fresh flower with that super cool center, y'all. And so all of these were direct sown. So another great direct sower, this is Larkspur Misty Lavender. Look how pretty this is, y'all. We do have to get a picture of this, sister. How pretty is that? Direct sown, misty lavender, and that is a huge cash crop if you're a flower farmer. And then look at this one. This is Smoky Eyes. This is like a white with a blush of light lavender over it. Can you see the hue of lavender? Look how beautiful that is. Again, larkspur is direct sown. And so,
Did you plant these in the fall?
yes, all my larkspur, all my 9-nut was fall planted. Now, this is the end of the larkspur mix. And the 2 larkspurs I just showed you are a smidgen later, not much. But this has white, pink, purple, and blue, and totally love this. I mean, larkspur is just a huge cash crop. And then we have bupleurum. Y'all, you can never have enough bupleurum. This is a filler, totally beautiful. Look how, I mean, it's just flowy and pretty, really, and this was direct sown in the fall. Now we are switching to transplants. So everything else, with the exception of one down the line, was transplants that I started. This is safflower, y'all. So the safflower Zanzibar, this is what it blooms and looks like, which I think is like a big old letdown, really. But this is how I use it. We use it before it opens. I cannot tell you what a sturdy foliage this is. That's where the money is with this plant, y'all, is to use it before it blooms. That is Carthamus Zanzibar. And y'all ready for the cutest thing in the world? Look at these bunny tails. Is that not the sweetest thing? We still can't get them tall, y'all. We have fall planted, very early spring planted multiple times now, and this is it. But I think there's definitely use in bud vases, short stuff, because people are obsessed with these bunny tails. They feel just like a bunny tail, y'all. It's pretty amazing. This is #1 seed we sell, by the way. And they dry beautifully. So that's bunny tails. Then we have calendula, pot marigolds. So this is the Pacific Beauties, and it has orange and buttercream and yellow and gold. And this is one of the earliest flowers to bloom on my farm, and it is a huge pollinator plant. So I did bring in a couple of the really, really tall calendulas. They do actually grow tall. This is the Ivory Princess. Speak of buttercream. This is really a beautiful, beautiful color. That is just a great color, right? So that is the pot marigold. And then up next, are y'all ready? I've waited for these pods all year long. Do y'all grow these? Look how awesome. These are ping pong. This is a scabiosis. So the flower, which is here, is like a pale blue, insignificant. Let it go. Don't cut it, because this is what comes after it. Can y'all hear that? They dry almost immediately. And that is a huge one. We love Colorado Sunset Yarrow. You'll see the difference in the 2 of them here in just a second. So Colorado Sunset, I really love because of this buttercream color right here, and a lot of other great colors. This is more of a sunset kind of color. Really love it. And then look at the summer berries. Can you see the difference? Summer berries has just got a lot of great berry type of colors. Both of those are fall planted. Yes, we plant them like a hardy annual, y'all. And so this, I have to tell y'all something about this. You know what this is? This is Persian cress. You do not cut this for the little tiny blooms. It's for these amazing green seed pods. But here's the warning. If you're going to grow this, you have to flower support netting it, and you have to move the netting much higher up than normal, because it bends it just folds over. It gets so top heavy. This is gorgeous fresh, and it's totally beautiful dried also. Look at this. Billy balls. Look how tall that is. And we cut some off. These were grown outside in the field. This is deer bait. But this is a powerful little flower to add to your bouquet, and it dries and looks just like this. And that was fall planted also. We actually fall and very early spring planted it. And this is Scabiosis, Fire King. How much of this do you think you can sell at 4th of July? Incredible. Bunch of other colors coming along too. So that's Scabiosis. Then my Rudbeckias are finally getting started here, y'all. This is Goldilocks, which is my favorite one because she's kind of a smaller bloom, and just it's one of the earliest ones. And then we also have Indian Summer, which is the classic looking type of Black-Eyed Susan, but it is bigger and holds up really well. Totally love that. And y'all, we haven't had this one this year yet. This is the heirloom carnation. Look how tall these babies are. And the flowers, there's a bunch of colors in the mix. That's a dark burgundy color. And so this is more of a spray. And again, that is very winter hardy. We winter plant that. And then y'all look at the Clarkia Godicia. And this is the white. And look how tall they are. They're just getting started is why I just have a couple of blooms. All right, so now we are looking at Sweet William, and this is the Sweet series. This is Coral, the very first one to bloom. How beautiful is that? And then we have the Black Cherry, and I'm just gonna go through these colors because they're all the same. This is all Sweet William, the Sweet series, and then it comes in white also. Then there's more colors, y'all. Sweet has like 12 colors. Then there is this one, which is Rose Magic, which is really pretty. This is the most popular Sweet William for Mother's Day. And then we have this one, which is Pink Magic, not Rose Magic, Pink Magic. And then the one I say is like Pepto-Bismol. It's a great color, though. It's Deep Pink Maxine. And then the one that none of us can pronounce, this is Beau, we call it. Why we love this one is it's got some great bicolors in it, and it doesn't need a cold treatment to bloom like some of the others. And so this is a really nice one. Definitely recommend fall planting it for it to get tall enough. Now, my go-to variety of Sweet William is the Amazon series. It's got a bigger head, and it's taller. This is actually the cherry color, and we succession plant this. The cherry color is one of our favorites, and then there's purple. And here, Suzanne saved me. Look how big these stems are. That's one Amazon stem. I mean, it's a great bouquet filler. And so that is more of the cherry, and then now we have purple. Look how vibrant. This is my favorite color. And look at here's another stem. That's one stem of Amazon. This is why it's my favorite, y'all. It just fills up a boat. You can build a bouquet around it. And then after it ages, you can just see how vibrant it is to start, and it'll fade, and all the colors are super nice. All right, so now we're moving to stock. And stock, I very early spring plant. It's not really winter hardy, doesn't do really well here. And look at this Cat's High Double White. Wish y'all could smell these. They're really beautiful. Then we have the Cat's Blue. I mean, these are just all great colors, right? People are really looking for bright popping colors. So this is the Cat's Blue. That's so pretty. Then we also love this Cherry Blossom. How pretty that is. And actually, we're coming to the end of that. And this is Apricot. It's the only one I have left, y'all. We've been cutting on that. The apricot is just an apricot-y color. It's just a great, especially if you're doing wedding work and stuff. And then look at this. This is Cat's Yellow, which is actually, I mean, we got great height out in the field, which is actually like more of an ivory color. Really love this. And we have a new one today, y'all. And you actually, we don't have the seed prepared yet, but you can get on the wait list. This is Cat's Ruby. Look at these beautiful. I mean, I just absolutely love this color. And when I heard it was named Ruby, that's my mother-in-law that just passed away about 2 months ago or so. Actually, it's been a little longer than that. But this is a keeper. Love this. Love it. All right, now, sweet peas, y'all. And y'all know that you can learn how to grow all these cool season hardy annuals by my books, right? The Cut Flower Handbook and Cool Flowers. This is Hyacinth. And Bobo cut the vines along with the blooms so that there's little trindles. Hyacinth is the most vigorous and the most fragrant that I've ever grown. And these are all growing out in the field. This one is Royal Mix. Has a bunch of different colors. It's a real favorite. That's Rocket, sister. And really, really sweet and pretty. All right, so y'all, I don't know if you know that we actually make a custom mix of Snapdragons, and we put together in different color families. It's a multitude of different varieties and shades, and this is the pink dragons. This has up to 13 different shades or varieties of snaps. So you plant once, and they bloom over a longer season. Look how pretty these are. Light, soft pink. It's got the doubles. It's got the open faced. It has all the pretty ones. And then it also comes in what we call sunset. Look at these pretty colors. Look at that. How pretty is that? And look at this one. Oh, just beautiful. And then it also comes in white. And the white has some greeny ones, really pretty. So you can plant once and get a longer bloom season instead of having to buy a bunch of different seeds and a bunch of different varieties and a bunch of different shades. And y'all, what's taking it away here is, which one's first? Gold. So this, my friends, are straw flowers. I'm really enchanted with these this year. Look how big they are. They're beautiful, just beautiful. These dry just like this. Straw flowers is one of the most underused cash crops, especially if you're doing a bouquet program. So that is the yellow, and then we have the mix. So if you haven't met straw flowers before, maybe this is where you should start, growing the mix to see all the different colors. So these were very early spring planted. These were planted for us 8 weeks before our last frost date. So for us, that's like Valentine's Day, snow on the ground often, and look at this. This is the peach mix. Nice mix of shades of colors. Then we have, whoops, I broke this one. This is orange. We don't have many of these yet. Look at that color. Can you imagine having these in the fall dried? Oh my gosh, totally beautiful. Then we have the bright rose. How pretty. And then, never have we ever said we've had enough white flowers. So this is vintage white, and they dry really nicely too, like this, y'all. And then look at this. This is the purple red. How pretty. And then I love this one. I love the name, copper red. Really, really pretty. And all of these that I'm showing you now, first off, are all cool flowers, cool season hardy annuals, and they dry beautifully. Let's look at some status. This is, oh, wait a minute, sorry, blue first. This is the blue. And status, if you're not experienced with this before, it dries just like this. But y'all, we try to sell everything fresh. Drying just another step, right? But it's a great backup plan. So that is the blue, and then this, wait a minute, this is the purple. Sorry, I don't want to compare them. This is the purple. See how it's a little bit deeper? When you see them together, you can tell the difference. There's more pinky in this. Not a huge difference, thank you. And then this is one of my favorites. Is this not in here? Rose?
Go back down.
Nope. Yep. All right, so, sorry y'all. This is that gorgeous apricot mix. This has so many shades of pink and salmon. Really beautiful. All right, so now we're going to do some snapdragons.
No, Menarda's first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, there's the other snapdragon.
Yep. Y'all, do you grow this? This is Monarda lambada. This is a bee balm that is different than what most everybody else grows. And we actually had this seed grown for us. And it's a bee balm. I love it from when it's really green like this to when it starts to show its pink right up, here we go, to where it really has pink flowers showing on it. This is a really great early season foliage filler. Now this is the butterfly, Madam Butterfly Rose color. Really popular, obviously, around Mother's Day, right? But they're snaps that look a little bit different. And then we have Opus Mix. Opus is just a great snap. I really, really love it. It's got that apple blossom and some of the other standard colors. And then look at this, y'all. This is Queen Anne's lace. It's called Dara is this variety, and I grow it from, or I cut it from green right up to when it starts to develop. And this is another super winter hardy that we fall plant. And then here's that good old false Queen Anne's lace. Look at this one. So I want to just point out, these are all too late. You should not be selling anything looks like this. This is how it should be cut, long before all that white is showing. This is a really popular cash crop. All right, so now we're going to look at Feverfew, and this is White Wonder. They're the same.
Okay.
This is White Wonder, and really useful. Great if you're doing event work and bouquets. And one of my favorites is the Sunny Ball. It's Vegmo is a series, and it has several colors. And this is, I just love the little yellow buttons. All right, now, Chinese forget-me-nots. Now, these I actually direct sew also. Everything else you've been seeing is transplants. This is the rose color, and this is it will reseed in your garden if you let it. And then the rose color is really useful, but y'all, it's this color that takes our breath away. Who does not need a blue flower? And we get good height. I mean, these are pretty tall. And so that's the Chinese forget-me-nots. And then our last flower to wrap it up is Amobium. If you are not growing Amobium, this is another just winter hardy, cool season hardy annual for us. And it's super tall. It dries beautifully, but we love it for fresh bouquets. It just really, really is a good one. All right, friends, it is time to wrap it up. But I want you to stick around for the Q&A at the end, so don't forget about that. And I just want to remind everybody that over on our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com, we have so many resources, friends. We have videos, blogs, our podcasts. We have 2 podcasts. We have Field and Garden, and then we have Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane, and you can check those out. Yesterday's episode, just released on Seed Talk, is 3 vining plants to grow and tips for building a tunnel. So that was a really fun one because my tunnel is it's a cash crop, but it's a ton of fun. You'll have to listen up on that one. Remember that this Wednesday on Ask a Flower Farmer, Ellen Frost is actually going to be our host this week. She is our florist that owns a design studio in Baltimore, Maryland, who only uses locally sourced flowers that have grown within 100 miles of her business. And she's been doing it for 15 years, and she does it year-round in that cold climate, y'all. Bring your questions to her. So she will, if you're selling to florists, want to sell to florists, you need to connect with Ellen. So also remember to meet us back here next Friday, same place, same time. And next week, it's all about Dad, y'all. It is Father's Day, and you're going to see the reveal again of our toolbox arrangement. There's actually a picture of that in my new book. And so now, friends, it is time to give away this $25. And I hope you're here because you have to be here to be able to claim your present, right? The gift that we have for you. And our winner is Amber Porter. Amber, if you are here, congratulations, and give us a shout out in the comments. And as soon as we see that, Jesse will drop that certificate right into your cart. So when you go in to check out, it'll be there ready and waiting for you. So, can you go back? Yeah, there you go. Sorry. Amber, if you're here, Amber Porter, you are the winner. Hopefully you're here. Give us a shout out. All right, friends, thanks for joining us today. And now I'm going to do a couple of questions that the team has here. Do you use Bio 360 for beds that get turned over and replanted in summer? What a great question. And in fact, yes, that's how we actually use it. So we made beds last night, and those beds will be planted with our second planting of warm season annuals. And then this fall, when they're done, we turn all that in, and then we remake beds for fall planting for spring blooms. So yes, it is intended to be incorporated into your soil, and that's what we do here 95% of the time. If you have no-till beds, which we use them, we do have an area that way too. We put it on the surface, and then in the fall, instead of tilling it under, we just cut the crops at ground level, top it with compost, and plant through everything again. So there's a lot of different uses. Hellebore plants, should I cut them back now or wait till fall? We don't ever cut our hellebores back. I don't know that there's benefit or hurt either way. But I wouldn't do anything to them until fall. This is a stressful time. They bloom in late winter into spring. And so if you want to cut, so like right now, all of the foliage from last year is what's laying on the ground, and the new foliage has come up in the middle, and that's what's looking beautiful. You could cut that dead stuff off, but why? That's what mulches my bed naturally, right? So it's okay to leave that. All right, can I just direct sow the marigold seeds into the ground, or do I have to start them with soil blocking? That is a personal preference, but I will tell you this, that commercial farmers typically start everything they possibly can indoors because it's easier to be more successful, it's less work, and you get a better stand of plants. So you can choose which way. People think it's the complete opposite of what it is. It is far more work to get a good stand of plants out in the field by direct sowing. You have to oversow, you're wasting seeds, and the seeds that we grow are hybrids. Most of them are kind of pricey, right? So you have to oversow. Then you have to hold the weeds back from developing while your seed is germinating, right? So that means you have to cultivate, which I posted two great reels today of the hoe that I used for that. And then you have to thin them, because you have to oversow, because not every seed will germinate. But versus I walk out to my garden to a bed that's got Bio 360 on top of it, poke a hole and plant my marigold after I've spent 4 weeks indoors standing up, taking care of it in the air conditioning. Do you know what I mean? It's just once you're set up to do it, it's just a lot easier and more successful. All right, friends, I am going to, is the dibber tool what Bobo uses to plant plugs? Bobo uses two things to plant, plugs and soil blocks. She uses what's it called on the app? We call it the Bobo tool. It's the dandelion weeder, isn't it?
It's called the Bobo.
Is it called the Bobo weeder? We think it's called Bobo. They're looking. But it's actually a dandelion weeder, or you could use a screwdriver. And she uses the dibber. Hand weeder is what it's actually called. And you know what else she uses the dibber for, especially the little one, for container gardening. That is just so very useful for that. So friends, thanks for joining us here today. Remember to have a safe and memorable Memorial Day weekend. Remember the reason for the day. And I will see you back here next Friday for the Father's Day. And we'll have Grandpa Ziegler's toolbox loaded with beautiful flowers in an arrangement. All right, friends. Ciao.